So I got started in sports cards back in 2015. Basically what happened is I lived from a town called Wayne, New Jersey, and I had a friend from the other high school in town buy his own car with $30,000. And we were 18, and I said to him, dude, how'd you do this? And he said, I buy and sell sports cards. We are at the Atlantic City National Card Show. I was here 7 years ago in 2015 when I got into sports cards. They had the sports card show here and it was unbelievable back then. I actually said to Gary Vee, I was like, hey, I'm thinking about starting a coaching program to teach people how to buy and sell sports cards. And people were harassing him. He was like kind of not looking up, like kind of saying whatever to people. And he looked up at me, directly me in the eye, and he's like, kid, that's a fucking great idea. Just before I go into this show, I'll tell you my strategy, what I want to happen, and usually what I want to happen, what happens are two totally separate things. What did you tell me yesterday? You told me you did not want the car. Basically in my bag here, I have a bunch of stuff that really has went up a lot in value. A bunch of football like Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, stuff like that. Stuff I've got graded that I've been holding for a little bit. And then a lot of Zion Williamson. I kind of anticipated him getting a big contract. So I'm into that stuff for a lot cheaper. So honestly, I'm looking to move that stuff either into more liquid stuff or into either maybe some baseball that's really low or some basketball that's really low that hasn't picked up yet in July. So that's my strategy. We'll see what happens. The biggest card I have on me is my Babe Ruth 1/1 auto, 9.510, which is worth about 40 to 50,000. And then I have a Joe Burrow Midnight that I got graded. I paid 22 grand, and it should be worth about 40 to 50 grand as well. Those are the two biggest cards I have on me. And then a Herbert Contenders Cracked Ice, about 40 to 50 grand. So I'll be definitely looking to move those either into a good trade price for some lower end cards just to get out of it, or a cash deal preferred, but those are hard to come between because dealers will lowball you. But yeah, I'm excited. I love these shows. I don't get to do them as much as I used to, but yeah, let's see what happens. So I paid my buddy $1,000 to set up the showcase. Honestly, the cards are pretty heavy, and just getting that exposure with all the cards, just them always being out there, I think the $1,000 will pay for itself as a whole. There's probably a couple $100,000 in cards in there, so you figure you sell 50 grand, it's worth it, right? Time is very, I don't want to say valuable to sound cocky, but it's very limited. I'm very picky in the cards I buy. It has to be very high end, not very high end, but very liquid, something very easy to move, just because I used to just buy everything and just flip it, but I just don't have the time for that anymore with MLP, so I'm very picky. But I will spend a lot of money. It just comes in boom, one deal here, 20 grand, boom, one deal here, 30 grand, instead of me just spending $1,000, $500, $2,000 all over the place. But 10.5K is a pretty strong offer. I just want one back. I think that's max value.
If it's all cash, I'll take it.
Yeah. I wasn't really looking to buy Herbert, but you can't pass up a good deal, right? You can just flip it for a couple grand profit, trade it. You do a lot of things with this at a show like this, so especially I have a showcase, I can just throw it in there. So I mean, it's a solid couple grand profit. Pretty easy. Usually deals like that are here and there, but they come. He was probably into the card for a lot cheaper. I bought one of these cards for $7,000 in January, then flipped it for 11 to 12. And then he was probably into it for the same, and he sold it for me for 10.5 grand. So I don't know. It's an easy buy. They're usually not that easy. Hey, what are you asking on the Soto? All right, I'll do it. What do you want to do? Flip Siri, or do you have a coin?
I have a coin, yeah.
All right, that was interesting. It's a Zion Blue Prism. Honestly, I'm not making much on it, but I'm getting into a Michael Porter Jr. that I think is just so underpriced. He showed me what he paid. He paid $5,800 in auction, and I think it could be an 8 to 10K card. I think, if all goes well, Nuggets have hype and stuff, everybody comes back. So yeah, that's what we're doing. We're flipping a coin to get the deal done. 3,200 to 3,300. Yeah, I'm actually walking back right now. I'll be back in 2 minutes. Of course, all the cards in my booth, this guy really wants the Zion Ice, and I think he's gonna pay strong. I don't know, I told him 23K. Brian Brennan just called me. I was going back to the booth anyways to get a card because I just did I just traded our Zion Blue Prism as well. So I got some extra cash for you. I'm flipping a coin to see if it's 32 or 3,300. I got some Michael Porter Jr. RPA.
I lost free card for you.
You keep it. I'm good.
Sure?
Thank you. I appreciate it though. Yeah, so I'll have some extra cash for you. And then, yeah, I got into a Michael Porter. So we didn't like technically move it if I could get it for 20. Okay.
And then 10 a.m. for our general admission patrons. Have a wonderful night. Get home safe. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow throughout the weekend. Thank you.
These negotiations are long. They're always long. Always long and painful over like
6 tables today, and I've been here like 8 hours.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, I'll see you later. Bye. Day number 1, there was a couple big purchases and a couple big things that happened. So I bought a Herbert Red Zone for $10,500. The one just sold for 14.4, so I thought that was a good deal. Then I sold a Zion cracked ice for 22 grand. I paid $15,000 a couple months ago, planning on that he would get a contract and that there'd be hype. Then number 3, I traded a Zion Blue Prism PSA 10 for a Michael Porter Jr. RPA number to 99 plus 3,000 cash about. Well, it was actually 3,200 or 3,300. We still have to flip a coin. I have to go back to him. I told him I'd come back and get the card from my booth, but I kind of forgot because I was really busy with that big Zion deal. And that guy who bought the Zion is planning on coming back today to possibly buy the Herbert cracked ice. I would probably sell it for 45 grand. I'm gonna press for 50. Would I sell it for 43? Probably. I guess we'll see what happens. But that's what happened yesterday. And today, honestly, the same thing. Like, I tell myself there's a strategy, but there's really not. It's just whatever pops up in front of your face. If there's someone who I think is going to go up in the future, I'll buy it. If it's just a good deal like that Herbert, like I wasn't planning on buying Herbert. I have enough, but I'm not going to pass up a $3,000 to $4,000 profit at the snap of my fingers. So that was what happened yesterday. That's the game plan for today, but who knows? We'll see what happens. So just did 2 transactions. This one was very simple. So I bought this Zion number to 35, 9.510. The last sale did 3,300 as a BGS 9. Then before that, a 9.5 did 6 grand. And he gave it to me for 4,500, even though I was still trying to haggle him. And I only expect Zion to go up a little bit. I think I could flip this right now for like 5,500 to 6. If not, maybe I could wait a little, get 7,000 to 8,000 trade. I don't know, we'll see. And then this card, so I basically traded a Zion Blue Prism for what I was into it at. Maybe I made like a couple $100 and he added. Well, what we did is we flipped a coin, if you probably saw it before. So we flipped a coin for 3,200 or 3,300 on top. And thankfully I won. So we added 3,300 on top to this for the Zion Blue. I really made, like I said, I made like a couple $100 on the Zion Blue, but I think this is higher risk, higher reward. I have a bunch of Zion, so I was trying to get it out of it. And I think Porter Jr., the high-end stuff, is like impossible to find because everybody bought it so high, they're just not selling it right now. So like, that's why it's just hard to find this stuff. So that's why I got into it. I think it's a better piece than the Zion Blue. I think it can go up because the Nuggets are supposed to be pretty good this year. What Alt does is they will auction your cards and give you a cash advance up to 60 to 70% in that range of like what your card's worth. So like, for example, like this Red Zone Herbert is worth about 14 grand to just auction, and he gave me, not him, but his company gave me a cash advance of about 10 grand. So like, if it's, God forbid, sells for under that, I'm guaranteed the cash, but it's gonna sell for over it. So like, let's say it sells for 13 grand, they take their seller's fee, which could be 8% or lower, and then you get the extra, and they keep their little fee. So I just moved like, if you could see here, like about $42,000 in cards to them. That was my cash advance. And then hopefully that 42 grand ends up being like 65 to 70-ish. But we'll see, because the auctions run every like week or two. So they're called alt liquid auctions. We are at Carmine's, super nice Italian spot. We actually rented out the back of it to have an MLP event, one of the perks you get of being an MLP. And yeah, like 20, 25 of our students are here. Unlimited food, unlimited drinks. All right, so recap of the National, 3 days. So the biggest thing I discovered was moving things to alt, and my friend works there, which is really helpful, but they give you big cash advances. So like, just moving stuff there, getting a nice cash advance. So the cash advance is the same price as what I'm into it for. If it auctions over, I'll make good money. It's more short-term investing stuff, higher-end stuff that does well there. A couple different buys that I just bought cheap, like the Zion Contenders. The biggest splash purchase was my friend texted me. His friend, who owns a car shop in Cleveland, had a Justin Herbert National Treasures, numbered to 99 RPA 9.5, and I traded into that for $75,000. I traded 60 grand plus $15,000 on top. I'll show you guys the card. I actually have it on me, but it's actually sold. But this is the card. I traded into it last night, and I'm into it for 75 grand and stuff, but realistically I'm into that stuff for like 50 grand, and I actually sold it for $110,000 to a private buyer. I can't say his name, but so yeah, pretty crazy. I'm just in one weekend, made a lot of money. That's, when you level up in sports cards, those are the kind of deals that can come your way sometimes. And don't get me wrong, I've had my deals where, I've lost, 10 grand in a deal, 15 grand in a deal. It happens. But this weekend was overall really good just in terms of money, and the content came out great. Card buying was great. Everybody was pretty friendly. Sometimes you get in arguments with people once in a while, but everyone was pretty chill. I was happy I was able to help out a couple kids that came up to me that have seen me on TikTok and Instagram. But yeah, overall pretty successful. I spent about, including trade and cash, I probably dished out about $200,000. And I probably spent, so I dished out about 200, and I probably sold about probably about 200 as well, honestly. So I'll see how those all auctions end. But yeah, overall, really good, no complaints, and yeah, it was a solid show, made solid money.